Did you know that in a lot of states, becoming a notary means buying a surety bond that can cost you a pretty penny? Well, here's a fascinating fact to kick things off. In the great state of Maine, the cost of that legally required surety bond is exactly $0. That's right, literally zero. Maine is one of the very few states that just doesn't require it. So you're looking at a massive financial benefit right out of the gate for anyone wanting to step into this role.
Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide today. If you've ever thought about becoming a notary public in Maine, you are exactly where you need to be. We're going to take all that dense bureaucratic language, all those scattered state guidelines, and break them down into a simple step-by-step roadmap. By the end of our time together, you'll know exactly what it takes to unlock this credential. So let's dive right in. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the unique power of a Maine notary, check if you qualify, and then walk through the application and exam. After that, we'll cover taking the oath, getting your supplies, and finally, some real opportunities and tips.
Section 1. The power of the notary. Before we even look at the paperwork, let's talk about what makes being a notary in Maine so incredibly special.
Honestly, the answer comes down to your earning potential. You see, most states actually cap what a notary can charge for a standard signature, usually at just $5 or $10. But Maine is completely different. The state actually doesn't set maximum fees for notarial acts. This gives you the incredible freedom to set your own rates. The only rule you have to follow is that you must disclose your fees in writing to the person requesting the service, and get their clear agreement before you do the work. The Secretary of State highly suggests adopting a clear fee schedule, of course. So if you're looking for a side hustle with totally uncapped earning potential on your own terms, well, this is it.
Section 2. Do you qualify? Let's take a look at the strict statutory requirements you've got to meet before you can even apply.
To qualify for a commission, the baseline is pretty straightforward. You've got to be at least 18 years old and demonstrate you can read and write English. But here is the absolutely crucial point: your character and your record. The state relies on notaries to safeguard the integrity of legal transactions. Because of that, you must have an absolutely spotless criminal and disciplinary record when it comes to fraud, dishonesty, or deceit. You literally cannot have any felony convictions. You also can't have had a notary commission revoked or suspended for misconduct in the past 5 years, and that goes for any jurisdiction, not just Maine. Integrity is just everything here. Now, Maine also has a really unique geographic quirk in its laws. If you're a Maine resident, you get a 7-year commission term. But what if you live just across the border in New Hampshire? Well, you aren't necessarily out of luck. New Hampshire residents who are regularly employed in Maine or carry on a trade or business there are actually eligible too. The only catch is that out-of-state residents get a 4-year term instead of the standard 7.
Section 3. The application and exam. Unlike so many things these days, initial notary applications in Maine are a strictly paper-based process.
So here's your 4-step workflow. First, you'll download and complete the application for a notary public commission. Now don't panic when you hear the word exam. Yes, Maine requires an open book exam on notarial law, but it's actually built right into the application form itself. It's super convenient. You just answer the questions as you fill out the paperwork using the state's Notary Public Course of Study PDF to help you out. Next, you gather your required signatures, attach your $50 filing fee made out to the Treasurer of the state of Maine, and then mail or hand-deliver that whole package to the Secretary of State's office.
I really want to demystify Step 2, gathering those signatures, because it is incredibly specific. You can't just sign the application and drop it in the mail. First, your own signature on the application has to be notarized by a current notary. Second, you have to get a municipal clerk or a registrar of voters to validate the application to prove your residency. And third, you need an endorsement signature from a registered Maine voter who can basically vouch for your ability to perform the duties. It's a true community-verified application.
Section 4. Taking the oath. Once your application is processed, which usually takes about 4 to 6 weeks, you'll receive your certificate of qualification in the mail.
Now, when you get that approval paperwork, hold your horses, because you are not a notary yet. Under the Maine Constitution, you must first physically appear before a dedimus justice. I know, what on earth is a dedimus justice, right? It's kind of an archaic-sounding term, but it just refers to a very specific Maine official whose main job is administering the oath of office to newly appointed officials, which includes notaries. You'll just have to search the state's online directory to find a dedimus justice near you and schedule a quick meeting to be officially sworn in.
Now pay attention, because the clock is ticking loudly here. The date printed on your certificate is day 1. You have exactly 30 calendar days to take your oath before that dedimus justice. Then you have until day 45 to return that completed, signed oath of office back to the Secretary of State. Listen to me on this. If you miss that 45-day deadline, you will completely fail to qualify. Your $50 will be gone, and you're going to have to start the entire process all over again. Definitely do not put this off.
Section 5, Supplies and Renewal. Congratulations, you're official. Let's talk about what you need to buy and how to maintain your active status.
Let's break down your total financial investment. The state application fee is $50, and as we mentioned earlier, your required surety bond is an amazing $0. Now, what's really fascinating here is that Maine law doesn't explicitly require you to purchase a notary stamp or a record-keeping journal for traditional paper notarizations. But I cannot stress this enough, both are highly, highly recommended for professional practice. If you do decide to buy a stamp, state law dictates it has to contain your name, the words Notary Public, Maine, and your exact commission expiration date. And while you don't legally have to log every single signature, the law does mandate keeping a log if you perform marriages or administer oaths for petition circulators. So realistically, expect to spend maybe $15 to $50 on these crucial supplies.
Fast forward 7 years, and it's gonna be time to renew. The really great news here is that the renewal process actually moves online. But keep in mind, you can't just click a button, pay a fee, and be done with it. You're still going to need to pass a 30-question online exam, have your residency validated by a clerk once again, and yep, you will have to track down a dedimus justice to take your oath of office all over again. Section 6, Opportunities and Final Tips. Let's wrap things up by looking at how all of this translates into some really tangible opportunities for you.
Let's bring it back to our most important takeaway regarding your earning potential. The state of Maine does not statutorily set fees for notarial services. Whether you want to add a highly valuable skill to your current resume, maybe offer mobile notary services for real estate closings, or just help out your local community, this lack of fee caps is a real game changer. It basically means your business can scale right alongside the market value of your time and your expertise. You are entirely in control of your own additional income stream.
Now, just a quick professional reminder before we go. Bureaucracy is a living, breathing thing. Statutes get updated, and administrative rules definitely change over time. The information in this explainer is based on the most current guidance available, but you should absolutely always verify current procedures directly with the Maine Secretary of State's office before you start your paperwork. Remaining in total compliance is your #1 job as a notary, and honestly, that starts before you even submit your application.
So, we've covered the qualifications, the open book exam, all that specific signature gathering, and the really unique dedimus justice swearing-in process. You've got the complete, step-by-step roadmap right here. It is a low-cost, high-reward credential that empowers you to serve your community and build an independent income stream. So, I'll leave you with this. You have the steps, you know the benefits, so what's stopping you from unlocking your new earning potential as a Maine notary today? Go download that application, start studying, and take that first step. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy notarizing.